get all access. Let me introducing Gervonta, 3-time world champion.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Lamont Roach warns and threatens that he could sue Gervonta Davis if he wants. What on earth is going on in the world of boxing, man? In this video, I'm gonna take you through it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Let's go, Bay Area. I got y'all. Yee! Lamont Roach was on Ring, and he's threatening arbitration, which is basically kind of like a lawsuit. It's a private, like, mediation. I'm gonna call it a lawsuit. It's a private mediation. The two gotta argue their stances and agree and all this type of stuff. But it's pretty much a legal process, right? Because he didn't get the rematch. Now, before I continue, hit the likes on my video for more boxing updates, boxing news. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. That's step one. Step two, so I don't misconstrue or misquote somebody. Roll the clip. We'll hear from Lamont Roach on Inside the Ring. Let go.
Yeah, Lamont, that's my big issue with this Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis circus event is, okay, you want to make money and play around with Jake Paul, no problem. I get it. I want to make money too. But in this case, you're Gervonta Davis. You're one of the biggest stars in boxing. Everyone thinks you lost to Lamont Roach. So what do? I was talking to everybody in the industry, right? You were supposed to fight August 16th. Deal was done and everything. And then you go, nah, forget about the rematch with Lamont. I'll go do this, circus fight. That's how I feel. How does it make you feel?
Now, from Mike Coppinger, why are you like this? Boxing media is trash. Boxing journalism is trash, bro. Listen, why would you even frame it like this? Like, you're interviewing a fighter. We don't even care what your opinion is. And he's like, oh, this is how I feel about it and blah, blah, blah. Why don't you just ask the question, whatever question you want? Then you're making blanket statements, trying to lead the witness, talking about most people or everybody thought that he lost. That's cap. Old media thought that Tank lost, but they were looking for anything to denounce Tank. Anything. Tank been knocking people out, so he makes it increasingly hard to critique, right? If you bow and knock somebody out, then there's nothing to really say. They got knocked out. So you could be like, oh, they weren't no good or something like that, but it's still a knockout and a backflip off the turnbuckle. So what they opted to do is notice both of the recent fights that went the distance is always this like dramatic, dramatized, oh, Pitbull Cruz, he really lost the fight. Oh, Lamont Roach, he really lost the fight. I thought Tank won the fight. The referee didn't score the knockdown. Lamont Roach already tried to protest to the commission. They said, So you got to just swallow that. Any sport operates like this. You have football games that were decided by referees who were appointed, and the referee made a call. Whether you thought it was a blown call or a great call, the referee said whatever they said, and that's just how it remains. And guess what? You got to deal with and live with those results. So it was a draw. Tank really should have won the fight. There was not this like compelling case for Lamont Roach until it got interesting right when Tank took the knee, because that was a bit of drama and it was weird and people were like, what was that even on? Like, why did he do that? So here's where Lamont Roach talks about arbitration.
I just feel, I feel a little disrespected, like just on the business aspect, because you don't do business like that. Now, say if I were to go to arbitration. Then what? Then you got to pay lawyer fees, or you.
Say I was to go to arbitration, then what? Bro, this generation, we live in a softened generation. Like, it's like there's an age old, like I was taught, don't pull out a gun unless you intend on using it. You know what I mean? What is the point of even pulling out the proverbial gun and saying, oh, what if I went to arbitration? Who does this? This generation is washed, straight chopped. If you're going to sue him, if you're going to do an arbitration, do it. Don't talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean? What is the point of that? What is the point of flexing this legal angle if you're not going to use it? And I'm saying this because this ain't the first time Lamont Roach has warned that he has the power, allegedly, to initiate an arbitration. Do it then.
Like that. Now, say if I were to go to arbitration, then what? Then you got to pay lawyer fees, or you put your promotional company.
You got to pay lawyer fees. Tank's in a different tax bracket than you. I don't think that's going to hurt him. He got lawyer fees for little run-ins and hit and runs. I mean, I don't think that's really hurting him. So why'd you even bring that up?
In a hole where they have to back you because technically it's on them. They're the ones who putting on the fight. That's who I have the contract. That's who draws up the agreement, the contracts, or whatever the case may be. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy for you to do business wise. Personally,
what is he talking about? It's crazy for you to do business wise. Tank told you at the post-fight press conference for Roach that he had an announcement, but based on the fight ending in a draw, they didn't announce it. Jake Paul went to this Tank fight. It was also reported from Jake Paul's side and industry sources that the Jake Paul fight was already in the works, regardless of the Lamont Roach fight. I don't think they expected Lamont Roach fight to be a draw in the knee thing. I mean, how can you predict something like that? So what are you talking about? Is crazy to do business. They were fighting regardless of your fight. They looked past you and they were already like solidifying the Netflix deal. So I don't understand what we're even talking about here.
And for the sport, for the integrity of the sport, like, it's just like, all right, now you playing with the sport. Like, come on, bro. I just think that's a little weird.
And that's a great point, Lamont. You know, you mentioned the disrespect, and I totally
What's a great point?
understand that, but there's also the contractual business standpoint here. You mentioned that you could take him to arbitration. Will you, or what's your course of action now?
You know, I mean, I never said this publicly, but no, we aren't going to go to arbitration because I'm very well taken care of. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
I mean, by the way,
Then why did you bring it up? Bro, get this man out of here. What is he talking about? Like, who flexes a lawsuit, an arbitration, which don't even look fly for a boxer for real? I'm from the era of Mike Tyson and Mitch Green had problems. Mike Tyson, pop, pop, pop. When he seen him in the street, Mitch Green eye looked like Jeff Goldblum, Seth Brundle in The Fly. That's the era of boxing that I came up in. You know what I mean? Where two fighters, they had issue like Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman in the ESPN studio, and there's some furniture moving. This man is like, oh, I haven't said this publicly, but we're not going to go to arbitration because I'm taken care of. So what is the point of telling the world about this arbitration and you're not even going to push the button? Y'all wish I was fronting that George Bush the button. Like, if you're not going to push the red button, why are you keep talking about it? And then you're like, I'm well taken care of. But then you're like, oh, you're putting your company in a liability situation and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? You're saying the company is taking care with you. You're a main event, which you've never been a main event outside of Tank that I'm aware of, unless it was Pro Box TV or something. You know, you've never been a pay-per-view main event outside of Tank. Now you got one with a Mexican fighter, Esau Pitbull Cruz, who has good stature, he has a good name and a healthy base. San Antonio, Texas. Texas is a fight state, so it should be a lit event and crowd. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're taking care of, you're taking care of. Why are you going this route of like, oh, I could sue him if I want to. I could do the arbitration, but I'm not going to. Like, I really, as a man, I have never appreciated like these primary school, high school kind of games where somebody will be like, yo, Ego, I know a girl that likes you. Who is it? Oh, I can't tell you. That's not manly behavior to me, bro. Don't come up to me and tell me you know somebody, you know something, or you know some girl that like me, and then I ask who, which is a natural response, and then you say, I've been sworn to secrecy, I can't tell you. That's corny to me, bro. Same way as like, don't pull out the stick and up it if you don't really intend to use it. Don't flex, I can sue Tank, and then you're really not trying to sue Tank. You're really not trying to be about this arbitration life. So it's like, you're just posturing at that point. Man.
You mentioned the disrespect, and I totally understand that, but there's also the contractual business standpoint here. You mentioned that you could take him to arbitration. Will you, or what's your course of action now?
I never said this publicly, but no, we aren't going to go to arbitration because I'm very well taken care of. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
I mean, by the way, I disagree with everyone's. Get.
I'm gonna say without him though. I want to say I publicly want to say thank you to Al Heyman, PBC, and everyone who made things right on his behalf. Like, even though he messed up on his behalf, they made things right on my end.
Then what are we talking about? PBC and Al Heyman made it right. But here's the thing. First of all, Tank is probably the biggest, because Canelo left or whatever. He got cooked by Crawford. He's gone or whatever. So Tank's the biggest star that PBC has. So you're talking about like, oh, you're putting your company in at liability. You're making them liable, and I could go to arbitration. Don't you think that PBC has something to do with Tank fighting Jake Paul? Like, you're making it seem, you're like, oh, I want to thank Al Heyman. I want to thank PBC, but not Tank, because PBC made it right, probably with the Esau Pitbull Cruz and his pay or whatever. So we're good. But don't you think Tank got the blessing of the same people, PBC and Al Heyman, to do the Jake Paul fight? That's a blockbuster bread-winning fight. I don't care if y'all like it or don't like it. I don't care if it's an exhibition. It's a bread-winning fight. They're going to make money on this exhibition, right? So best believe PBC is looking at their interest in the Jake Paul fight. Like, we can't pass this up. This is a lot of bread for us too. You know what I mean? So they could have made it right with you and gave you another out because they sent Tank in lieu of Canelo, who was supposed to fight Jake Paul. It all like ties together. You dig? So I really don't get Lamont Roach's angle. I really don't. Again, why do you keep bringing up in multiple interviews arbitration if you're really not finna do it? I don't understand moves like that. I don't understand this generation. You know, maybe it's not for me to understand, but I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like Lamont Roach. He can fight. But what I'm saying is the behavior. And aside from that, you sound obsessed with Tank Davis. There's more things to life than Tank Davis. He's fighting Jake Paul. You've had ample time to come to the realization that that's a reality. You actually have an announced fight with Pitbull Cruz, which is a great fight. You ain't never heard me complain about it. Great fight. Why are you still talking about, man, but Tank didn't rematch me? What power do you have? Like, first of all, Ryan Garcia is a bigger star than Lamont Roach. Facts. Ryan didn't even have a rematch clause, right? Ryan didn't have a rematch clause. It was a one-way rematch clause. Only in the event that Tank lost, he would be able to exercise a rematch. So if Ryan, who's way bigger than a Lamont Roach, did not have a rematch clause, I know that Lamont Roach don't have that option. So they could have like put together a contract and you sign your portion of it for August or whatever. Tank got in some legal trouble and then he decided to go the Jake Paul route, or it was decided to go Jake Paul route. So you thought you were finna fight him and it all fell apart. This is boxing. This is boxing. Wilder wanted an immediate rematch with Tyson Fury, and Fury did the same thing. Fury was like, nope, I'm signing with ESPN and Top Rank, and I'm fighting Tom Schwartz. And Wilder was left in the cold. Or more recently, Jake Paul. Jake Paul's like, I got this Canelo fight. They drew up flyers and mock-ups. They had a date. They had a venue. They had the city. And then Jake Paul was left high and dry because Canelo got bought out by the Saudis. And they said, here's a 4-fight deal. And Canelo chose to cherry pick over there than to fight the Jake Paul and then likely the David Benavidez and those type of options that would have been with PBC. Point blank, period. So this is boxing, bro. Sometimes fights fizzle out and you think it's a deal, and then 11th hour something else changes and it don't happen. So I don't understand why Lamont Roach is acting like he's the first man in boxing who thought he had a deal and it fizzled out. How many times have we heard about like Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz verbally agree, and then the next day they're like, the deal's over. They're not fighting. And then they go their own separate way. It's boxing, bro. So Lamont Roach, for as long as he's been boxing, he seems very rookie to the business of boxing. And besides that, who cares? Tank got his next fight. You got your next fight. You probably should be in training camp for Pitbull. And you still over here talking about Tank is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. And then you got people who hate on Tank, content creators, media, fighters. You know, Clarissa Shields even like dissed him. And it's like, why is everyone talking about Tank? If he's so bad for boxing and he should have took the rematch, like you got the dude, the reporter talking to Lamont Roach crying, oh man, why didn't he take the rematch? Bro, F you. That's why he didn't take the rematch. Ain't nobody passing up $40-50 million for an exhibition for no Lamont Roach, when the Roach fight can still happen later down the line. Jake Paul, who knows? He might go to heavyweight again. He might do this and that. He might fight Anthony Joshua. We don't know what he gonna do. So at the end of the day, it don't even make sense to pass up in boxing like game-changing money that takes care of your seeds and your family and has you set. You know what I mean? It don't make sense. Like, no, I gotta do it for honor. I gotta defend the draw. And I want to add this. Only when it's a black fighter do you see this behavior from old media. Let me explain. How many fighters have had controversies that never did an immediate rematch for any reason? Like when Lomachenko lost to Orlando Salido, he never rematched him. To this day, he retired without ever going back there and beating Salido. When he lost to Teofimo, he moved on and never went back and rematched Teofimo. I thought he lost to Jermaine Ortiz, he never looked backwards and fought Jermaine Ortiz at all. He just moved on with his life, right? But when it's a black fighter like Ward and Kovalev, they immediately ran it back. Mayweather Castillo, immediate run back. Mayweather Maidana, his next fight was Maidana too, right? And so on and so forth, right? Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano, immediate run back. And he tried to run it back with Harrison. The only reason there was an in-between fight is because Harrison pulled out with injury, but they scheduled it for an immediate rematch and so on and so forth. So the one time where you have a black fighter in modern recent history where there's a controversy and it's not an immediate run back, it's this big problem. But how many other times have you seen these other dudes, and it don't matter if they're black or whatever, and they don't run it back? Like Shakur had a lackluster performance with Edwin De Los Santos. He ain't running back with Edwin De Los Santos. So it's like, what are we talking about? Tyson Fury got cut and arguably should have lost to Otto Wallin. He ain't never went back there and beat Otto Wallin. Tyson Fury also had one with Francis Ngannou. I really thought Ngannou beat him. He dropped him and all the whole 9 yards. Tyson Fury didn't go back and give Ngannou. He let his countryman AJ knock out Ngannou. You know what I mean? So it's like, how many other times have we seen close fights or controversial fights or controversies or whatever, and for whatever reason, there was no attempt for an immediate rematch? It didn't happen next. And it's never a big deal. Pacquiao never fought Jeff Horn again, right? That was a controversial outcome. So it's like, why is it Tank? All these other fighters can go on with their career, controversy or not, and then oftentimes they don't even have to look back. And there's been some egregious robberies. Pernell Whitaker got robbed versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Why he ain't running back immediately? You know what I mean? But then when it comes to Tank, I guess the rules are different. And it's like, hey, I ain't going to sue you. I mean, do it. Do it. Put up or shut up. Take him to arbitration or not. Why you keep flexing that if you're not really finna do it? I don't understand that behavior, bro. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Subscribe for more boxing news. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.